Hey guys, this is Diecast Destination, and today we have a real treat for you guys. I was able to get my hands on a set of Demolition Man movie tie-in Hot Wheels from 1993, and I think they're pretty cool. I was pretty hyped to get the whole set, and I just wanted to kind of go through those today, maybe do a quick review on each one. I've got them opened already. We will, in the thumbnail of the video, you'll see them put together as a set of 9 with their little acrylic cases that came in the package. Was kind of a unique thing, and so I thought I'd do a little quick review on each one and just show them to you guys, because there's not very many videos on these on YouTube or out there on the internet in general, because they're so old, and I don't know how popular they were at the time, but I think they're pretty cool. So without further ado, I'm going to change the camera, and then we will start going through one by one. All right. So we have 9 models here, and we're going to start off with the first one is the Olds 442. And there's the packaging. Olds 442 W30. All right. So real quick, acrylic case. That's going to be the same for all of them. The cool part was they all have kind of a real life picture of the car. A lot of these are going to be prototype cars that GM made. Didn't ever come into production, or concept cars, I guess would be the better term. But this is obviously a real Oldsmobile 442 W30. And then on the back, there's a connecting kind of puzzle piece picture. When you put them all together, it forms a picture, like a kind of a poster to do with the Demolition Man movie. So yeah, this one is pretty nice. The main thing I've been interested in on these is looking at the bases. And they all say 93 Warner, and they were all made in Malaysia. So the way I take that is that you'll see later on in the video there's one that is a different year. But I believe any of these cars that say 93 Warner were literally cast for this specifically. So I could be wrong, and I very well may be, but this specific casting, if this is what the Olds 442 is now to Hot Wheels, and they still make them, they may be a different casting now that they, kind of in the modern times. But this one, I believe, was made for the movie. So this may be the first Olds 442 casting that they ever did, or at least this version of it is specifically was copyrighted by Warner and Hot Wheels in '93. So yeah, pretty nice. I like the red. I like the black hood scoops. It's got those old school kind of 5-spoke wheels. They work really well on the model. So there's that one. I'd probably rate that one an 8 out of 10. It's pretty nice, actually. Okay, now we're going to be moving on to the GM Ultralight. There's the box, the packaging. Film featured SAPD Cruiser. GM Ultralight. Here's the picture of the real life version. Obviously, this is just a movie car, not a production car. And then we have the picture on the back. So this one, 93 Warner as well. I'm not sure if you can read that, but this one is interesting. This is super heavy. This is one of the heaviest models I've ever felt. And it actually, metal top, but a plastic base. So for it to be this heavy with a plastic base is crazy. The metal on top must be extremely thick, because this thing is as heavy as, I have a couple Pontiac GTO Hot Wheels that are metal top, metal base, and they're extremely heavy because it's a big car. This is easily as heavy, or if not as heavy or heavier than that. Anyway, as far as a review on the model, this is one of the, maybe the only one that actually looks essentially identical to its quote-unquote real-world counterpart. So I believe, and again, 93 Warner, I believe this was specifically made and cast for the movie tie-in. It looks identical. Some of the other ones are a loose interpretation, and maybe they had Mattel had a different casting, and they just kind of made it work. You'll see that later on. But this one actually does match up almost perfectly with the movie. It's extremely ugly, and as a casting, I don't love it, but it's cool how accurate it is to the actual, movie real life version. So I'll probably give this one a 6.5, 7 out of 10. Okay. Now we're getting on to some of the cool stuff. Some of these, half of these in this set I wouldn't have bought if I wasn't just trying to complete the set, because they're really not that great they're just not that great looking, but this is one of them I would have. This next one is the Corvette Stingray 3. Real movie replica. And we do have, there's the picture of the concept car. Very cool looking car in real life. And then just another portion of the puzzle picture on the back. All right, so here's the car. 93 Warner again. So this one has a plastic base, metal top, of course. And the only, I guess, interesting fact about this one to me is that it does have these cool 5-spoke chrome wheels that you do not see on very many Hot Wheels models at all. They were pretty rare in terms of just being used in general. And on this particular one, on all of them here, they use these on all three out of the 4 of the GM cars. They're an actual separate plastic wheel piece, and then the plastic tire is a separate piece. I don't think you'd ever be able to get them off now, but they are a separate wheel and tire combination. They're plastic tires, so they're not real riders. But this may have been an early kind of version an early stab at trying to make kind of bespoke, more interesting wheel tire combinations without actually having rubber tires. So this one's nice. 0 tampos on it at all, so a little disappointing in that sense. I feel like they could have done some more on this, but I guess the concept car is fairly plain, so they didn't feel they needed to do anything. But this model is, I like the wheels, so that bumps it up, but the lack of tampos and overall just kind of a blah version of this car. I'd give this probably a 5.5 out of 10. Okay, now we move on to the absolute ugliest one of the bunch. This is the Pontiac Salsa. Future car film premiere. All right. Oh, before I forget, there's the real life counterpart. Actually not a bad looking concept car, and obviously just a successor to what became the Pontiac Aztek. This has a lot of similarities to that if you are familiar with the actual production car, the Pontiac Aztek of Breaking Bad fame. And then here's the puzzle piece picture on the back. So the actual concept car is not bad, but as you can see, what they came up with is disgusting. It's really bad. It almost looks like, I'm not 100% sure on this one if this was some other casting, and they just, it looked close enough, so they just used it. I mean, there's enough similarities to make me think that maybe this is a new. I mean, this one has a 90. It's 93. I forgot to show 93 Warner on the base. So that leads me to believe, if being consistent with my beliefs on the other, that this was specifically for this movie tie-in. But if it was, I'm not sure why they didn't just try to make it a little bit closer. This is not it's potentially a target top. I don't know in real life, but it has a back end of glass greenhouse, basically, but rear end that's closed off. It doesn't look anything like this. So I would say this is a pretty weak attempt at this. And then the other thing I noticed about this when I was taking it out of the package is, if you look at the wheels, Mattel, as far as I know, at least I know in modern day, and I believe back in 93, they have a wheel that looks essentially identical to this. It's like a 3-spoke kind of razor blade type wheel, like a blade type wheel. And they have one that looks identical to that. I'm not sure why they didn't use that on this. What they use just doesn't match with this kind of futuristic look at all. This is by far the worst one. It's just terrible. I would give this, honestly, a 1 out of 10. It's terrible. Mattel really wasn't with some of these. I don't know if this was the norm. I feel like this was probably the norm back then, the lack of tampos, but they really seem to have kind of taking it easy on a lot of these, actually, because there's just not very many tampos. All right, so next we got the Buick Wildcat Future Car Film Premiere for this one as well. And this one is, I think, one of them. No, this also is 93 Warner. 93 Warner. And kind of getting out of order here. Here's the real life counterpart. Actually, this is a very, very cool looking concept car. The diecast doesn't really completely do it justice. It's not terrible, but I would say it doesn't do it justice at all, for sure. So here is the car, and all of the GM tie-ins are either maroon or just red with like black tops, or some kind of black paint, two-tone type paint job. This one actually does have, it looks like it was a clear, no, actually the top is completely black tampoed. I thought maybe it was a clear insert that would put, but it's part of the metal top that was painted black. And then you have the kind of exposed interior, which the engine is part of that, which looks cool. I do like that. And then you do actually have some tampos for those little rear intake ducts, because this is obviously a rear engine car. So at least this one has some tampos. Again, that's going to be kind of the common thread here, is the GM specific vehicles, what I would consider the best looking actual models here, castings, they have very few tampos. So a little bit disappointed. And same thing here with the wheels. Again, they use this old school 5.5 spoke wheel, which I don't mind the wheel, but it really doesn't match up. It doesn't match well with what these are all supposed to be future, 21st century, or I don't even know what 22nd, 23rd, I don't even know, but for sure 21st century at a minimum. And they really don't achieve that at all. So I would give this one, just because I like the casting, I like the red-black combo, the wheels detract from it, I'd probably give this like a 7. All right, so we've gone through 5. We have 4 more to do. So next, we have the GM Lean Machine. There's the packaging. This one's also Future Car Film Premiere. And here is The movie version, also, it's just, this thing is really ugly looking as well, but it's what they thought might be a possibility for future, you know, single person or only, you know, or dual person transportation. It's a three-wheeled car. There's the back picture. Three-wheeled car. This one is, it's harder to read. This has got a metal base, a partial metal top, and then like a plastic, the center piece, the middle third is plastic, which is kind of weird, but yeah, this one's 93 Warner as well. So again, obviously made for the movie, as a movie tie-in. This one is another weird one that, it's, you know, it's obvious it was made specifically for this to be like, to look like this, but it's quite different. It really doesn't, I mean, it obviously in general resembles the movie version, but it's considerably longer and more torpedo-like. This one's more kind of like a wedge shape, a triangular wedge shape. And, you know, it hits all the same. It has the little winglets in the middle. It has the two wheels in the back, one in the front, kind of the big glass canopy along the whole top, but it's really not very close. I mean, it's, you know, it's like 85%, 80%. So again, it's just weird that I feel like if they were going to make a movie tie-in, a casting specifically for this, why isn't it exactly the same? Like, why didn't they just get, you know, some whatever files they had back in the mid 90s and were able to, you know, make it in AutoCAD and make it exact. It's a little weird. That, and their version actually looks better than the movie version, but that kind of negates it because it's like you want it to look like the movie version, or why else are you doing it, you know? So this one, I would definitely give this. This one's another, you know, on the lower end of rating for me, because it's just like they kind of, I don't know if they had just a early production design of it that it ended up changing, and it's not their fault. It'd be interesting to know, but I would give this one probably a 4 or 5 out of 10. It's just not close enough. It's not accurate enough. All right, so the last 3, 7, 8, and 9, we're going to do the Oldsmobile Aurora feature car film premiere again. And this is a GM concept car, but ended up being a production car. I think it looked more or less, I believe this picture maybe is a picture of the production car. I'm not 100% sure, but I was 12 years old when this movie came out, and yeah, I don't remember if I saw these on the street, but I know they existed, and I don't know if the production ended up looking just like this. Here's the puzzle picture piece in the back, but this one's pretty good. Seems to be well proportioned. Here we'll show you the base here, plastic base, 93 Warner again. So what that tells me is it was made for the movie specifically. Probably was a concept car at the time, ended up going on to be a full production car. But, you know, obviously it's just it's a 4-door family sedan. Nothing's too interesting about it, but well done. I mean, this doesn't really need many tampos, being that it's just kind of a standard family car. Nothing too crazy about it. Maybe could have done something different with the wheels too. Again, these wheels are just so old school that they don't really... they had so, even at the time, Hot Wheels had so many other wheels that would have worked like beautifully on all these models, that would have looked futuristic. So that's kind of going to be my one main knock on all these, is just the wheel. The wheel doesn't really work that well for me, to be honest. But yeah, there's that. And, you know, metal top, plastic base, pretty boring, but well executed. I'd give it a 6. All right, now we're getting into the last 2, and these are my actual favorites. These would have been the ones, if I wasn't trying to collect the whole set, these would have been the ones that I would have just been happy with. Pontiac Banshee. I love this casting. This one I thought would have been made for the movie specifically, but this is the only one that has a different casting date. So this was obviously not made for the movie. Before I get ahead of myself, let me show you there's the real world concept car picture. This thing was freaking sweet looking in real life. This was the precursor, went on the 94, 93 and up F-body Trans Ams and, Firebirds and Camaros ended up looking a lot like this. Specifically, the Firebirds took a lot of design cues from this. They didn't look as good, obviously, but they took a lot of design cues. And then here's the picture on the back. So overall, I really like this one, mostly because I just love the casting. So this one is actually MI 1989. So I don't know if that's Mattel Industries. I've never seen the MI before. In 1989. So this one does not match up with all the rest of them that were Mattel 93. So kind of interesting. So what that tells me on this one is this was an existing casting that they had already cast in 89 or created in 89, and then they were able to use it for the movie. Which that was probably the most surprising of all. I figured this may have been just, I figured this would have been the first version of the casting for the movie tie-in, but apparently not. If they cast it in 89, I'm almost positive that they did, it's not like they didn't use it for 4 years until 93. It's possible, but I highly doubt this is the first version. But so some interesting things about this: metal top, metal base, although most of the top is the plastic windows. So I guess you could say it's partly plastic on top, but the main body is metal. The base is metal. This also now is one of the three that has those really cool wheels, the chrome 5 spokes with the separate plastic tire. Just love it on this side. This model looks so good, and those wheels look so good on this. Just incredible. I absolutely love this one. Sorry, my cat's food dish is going off in the background. I apologize. So anyway, yeah, not a whole heck of a lot to say on this one. Zero tampos on this, which, a little frustrating. But the fact that the black interior plastic piece carries forward and makes this two-tone hood, I think it is enough to differentiate it and make it look nice. If it wasn't for that, this thing would just be a little bit too plain. I almost would have preferred to have this swooping kind of C-pillar, maybe have that be black or some other color. Would have been neat. But overall, really well done. I just love this casting. I can never give this casting a bad score, because I love it so much. So I'm going to give this probably a 9 out of 10. Probably the highest rated one out of the bunch. It's just really, really nice. And these wheels being what they are, they're very unique. And like I said, it's really hard. You're hard pressed to find these wheels on a lot of other models. I think there's a few special sets here and there throughout the years that Mattel or Hot Wheels put those on, but there's really not that many. So if you find one that has those, it's pretty, I would consider it fairly rare. All right, last one. Sorry this video is taking forever, but I just wanted to be in depth here. Last one is, which number 9, is the Chevrolet ACC Camaro. Real movie replica. So let's look at the picture. There's the real world picture. I've never actually seen this picture, this car in real life or on the internet. Really cool looking. And then here's just the back picture. Okay, so plastic base. Oh, this is interesting as well. This is 92 MI. So 1992 Mattel Industries. Not sure if you can read that. So this is a different time frame as well. This is a year before all the rest of them. So yes, in this casting, I know that there was other 1993. They call them like Camaro race cars, I think, or custom Camaros or something along those lines. So I know this wasn't specifically for the movie. I thought maybe it was for the movie first, but no, they must have had this. They must have produced this casting in other versions prior to '93 when these came out. So, yeah, this one actually does have tampo. I mean, paint tampo. I guess you'd call it paint. I guess so. We got the whole two-tone. The whole roof and back is painted black, and then we got the headlights are blacked out, and that's really it. So again, pretty minimal on the paint, on the tampo paint work, just like all the rest of them. Has those really cool wheels. Now, my only issue with this one, and it's the issue I have with this casting in general, is it is just huge. It's just massive. Like for instance, here's an interesting thing. Here's what it looks like next to the Olds 442, which would be a way bigger car in real life. I mean, not way bigger, but it would be considerably bigger. And it just dwarfs it. Like it honestly looks like if the Olds is a 1/64 scale, I'm not sure it is, but let's just say for the sake of argument that it is. This one for sure is probably like a 1/60th, 155, 158. I don't know. It's way, way bigger. So there's that. So that's always been my problem with this specific casting is it's just so huge and bulbous, and because it's so big, they got to put these gigantic wheels on it. And overall, I love it's obviously like it'd be like a race car, fiberglass race car single piece body is what it looks like, and it looks really cool. But I just wish it wasn't so big. I don't know why Mattel. The kind of a rant here, a quick rant, is a lot of the Corvettes and a number of the Corvettes, specifically the C5 Corvette, is the worst offender, and then this Camaro. These are some of the two worst offenders are just massively bigger in scale than almost everything else. Like they don't even come close to being a 1/64 scale, and I don't know, it just kind of bugs me because it's like you display them next to your other cars and they just dwarf them. It looks like they're not even from the same company, like they're not even supposed to be there. And there's really no more detail on them than anything else, so I'm not sure why they had to be so huge. But anyway, yeah, this one I'd probably give this also, because of the two-tone, the top, which you don't see that a lot of on this casting, almost never actually, and the wheels, I'd give this probably a 9. I really like the GM concept cars, the Camaros and the Corvettes. And then that Pontiac Banshee is really cool. So yeah, there you have it. That's the whole set. Overall, it's a really fun set. It was unique in the sense that it came with these acrylic cases that they call them cryo chambers that they all lock together, which would have been able to see on the thumbnail of the video, see them all locked together. And I thought it was a unique, fun set. I wanted to get it. It doesn't go for that much. I think I ended up, by the time I tracked everything down, I think I got like seven out of the 9, and then I had to track 2 of them down. I think it ended up probably costing me $70 or $75 with shipping by the time I got everything. So not super expensive, less than $10 a car. But I'm not aware of anything prior to this where they came with like a separate acrylic case specifically for display like this. I mean, there was other 100% Hot Wheels and stuff. I think maybe that came later. But I do like the unique aspect of this set. And I love the Demolition Man tie-in because that's a cool cult classic movie. And just unique, fun concept car models that you're not going to see anywhere else. So overall, I'd give this set a thumbs up. It's really fun. It's a great set to collect. Not too expensive. If you're thinking about this, go track it down. A lot of them, believe it or not, there's still a fair amount out there where you can get most of the set carded in pretty good condition. And then track down the ones you're missing separately. A lot of the plastic blisters and the acrylics are a little yellowed. Of course, they're going to be. There's no getting around that. But overall, my set's pretty good, and I think it'd be pretty easy for you if you're interested to find a pretty good set. So anyway, that's going to be it for me. This was Diecast Destination, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be coming back here hopefully in the next week or so with some more high-end diecast, some ultra premium, I would consider them, and we're going to kind of just go from there and kind of start making our way through some of those. And I also have some Hot Wheels to review as well. So thank you for watching, and shoot me a like and subscribe if possible, and we'll be back with the next video. Thank you.